Joining us now is the great senator from the state of Oklahoma, who's been terrific and was excellent in the committee hearing for Pete Hegseth, Senator Markwayne Mullin. Senator, welcome to the program. Feels like a new day in America, doesn't it?
It does. I've been on going to these liberal medias because we kind of have to get our message out there, right? And I was on CNN. They asked me what the day felt like, and I said, man, sunrise was beautiful. The air in my lungs tasted better, and my protein shake was awesome. It just seems like there's a tremendous amount of hope and optimism and excitement for this golden age we're going in. And I tell you, it sure feels a heck of a lot better than it did 4 years ago.
No kidding. And so, Senator, it looks as if the executive orders across the board are bold and dramatic. Let's go to one that is not getting as much attention, but a national emergency around energy. And that is something that I know impacts your state of Oklahoma. What will that mean for approvals, environmental impact statements, exploration of oil and natural gas? What will that mean for the great folks in the state of Oklahoma?
Well, it's not just Oklahoma. It's North Dakota. It's Texas. It's Pennsylvania. It's all of our energy states, including California. People forget California is actually an energy state. When we declare it a national emergency, what it does is it puts that permit reform that we've been trying to pass in Congress for a long time. It puts it in hyperspeed, where we don't have to have the permit reforms, where we just simply can bypass a lot of the stuff that is happening with pipelines. People don't really think about pipelines being about energy, but it's one of the biggest choke points that the Biden administration put in place. One thing they did when they immediately went in is they declassified a lot of the pipelines, and instead of allowing them to run at 100% capacity, they put them at 20% on new ones. They dropped some of them to 50% capacity, so they changed the permitting process. This brings that back to full to full capacity, and it allows us to move the product faster. As you know, Charlie, that brings down the cost of energy when you're able to get the product to the system faster without competing on the same level. At the same time, it starts opening up public lands, and where the Biden administration basically eliminated the ability to get permits on public land. It opens up Alaska again, which Alaska is a huge economic engine that the Biden administration just collapsed and killed. And then it opens up offshore drilling to where, as the president was leaving, and keep in mind, the executive order to make it a national security issue was a way to go around the executive order that the outgoing Biden administration put in place that basically took all of our waters up to international and said there was a moratorium on offshore drilling. And the president, very smart, and I'm sure he had great people around him that was advising him on this too, by declaring it a national emergency, it takes it off the table and we can drill again until we get to energy independence. And when we become the exporter, it puts us as a much stronger position, and a lot of people don't realize too is we're still importing petroleum products from Russia. So we're still funding the war in Ukraine that we're funding Ukraine to fight against, and then we're funding Russia. So this takes that actually off the plate too.
It's a major victory and win, and the president wants to become not just the energy superpower of the planet, which we are in pace, but also for artificial intelligence, which if we want to have artificial intelligence dominance, we need to be energy independent and dominant. Correct, Senator?
Yeah, we do, and we needed to use it more strategically, too. A lot of people think Saudi Arabia is being the oil capital of the world. The United States is the oil capital of the world. We have more reserves from oil, natural gas, and rare earth minerals underneath our feet, but because of the environmental movement, it has put us at a huge disadvantage. But one thing that we don't talk about, Charlie, is what Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, these other countries do by setting up a sovereign wealth fund for their country by the reserves that they have. Let's think if we relook at the way that we do public land permitting. Instead of just simply giving the permitting to the oil and gas companies, and we have a one-time fee where they get the permit, we sell it, and then they go on, what if we actually entered a partnership like you do with private land, like I do on my own private land? I control the mineral rights, and I get a percentage the minerals that are pulled off the land. What if we did that with the United States and on the public lands, and then we started applying that 100% to our national debt, and we start using the natural resources we have to pay off our national debt? Because Congress is never going to be trusted with actually being able to do our budget, because we're going to be playing these games. We're going to have a 10-year budget or balanced budget, which we've been doing 10-year balanced budgets forever, and we still haven't balanced it. But if we directly took the resources we have and said that those funds had to be applied to national debt, we could actually see in our lifetime, Charlie, you and I the country could be out of debt.